Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Running Wild Podcast. I'm your co-host Rich, alongside me as always, my co-host Runz.
Yes, sir.
Alright, just want to remind you guys, before we get started, that we're brought to you in partnership with pwponderings.com, lastwordonprowrestling.com, and rhworld.com. We're also featured on the Wrestling to the Max network. Alright, so we have Backlash coming up. We have a couple of Evolve shows this weekend, and we have an interview with Create-A-Pro Wrestling's Smart Mark Sterling, their current champion, ahead of their big show on June 3rd, Unsettled Differences. So let's get into...
We also have a delirious me staying up till 8:30 in the morning watching Best of the Super Juniors.
Yeah,
for no real apparent reason at all.
That's amazing and crazy at the same time, but I definitely would have been doing that if I didn't have work.
Correct. There are some perks to being off.
Okay, let's actually be honest here. I would say I was going to do it, and then I would fall asleep.
And usually, that's the road that I go down, and I make it to till 5:30 maybe, and then I pass out. But this time, with nothing on the horizon, I said, why the hell not?
That's quite an accomplishment, sir. I think we should all applaud you right now. All right, so what do you want to start with? You want to start with the Battle of Super Juniors, or do you want to start with Backlash?
Well, I mean, Best of the Super Juniors, it is what it is. It's the guys that fly around and wrestle this high pace in New Japan, all going at it. I mean, Skrull Ospreay, Ricochet Ospreay, Dragon Lee Tamagotchi, there was ACH Bushi, right? Mm-hmm. There was just a bunch of matches on both of these shows so far that, you should go out of your way to check out.
Yeah, no, I mean, Skrull looks really good there. I like the ACH's work there too. I was from what I've seen so far, I'm really enjoying it.
Usually it's some of the guys that I don't know, so I don't pay attention to it. But having followed New Japan a lot more and having watched Ring of Honor with most of these guys, or Evolve, or anywhere else, PWG, so it's fun to see.
Tamagotchi is amazing. And by the way,
he's gotten so much better. It's crazy.
It's Hiromu, right? Hiromu Tanahashi. Hiromu Tanahashi.
Yeah.
So just in case you guys actually watch it and you don't know what we're referencing, that's what we call him Tamagotchi from his Ring of Honor run. So
also, so Naito, as we have all seen, just tosses the belt around. So on the first show, he comes out and just tosses it in, or when he was coming out, tosses it into the ring steps, like as hard as he could. And then after the match, he was leaving, turns around, launches it into the turnbuckle post. So I don't know if afterwards, they took out a hammer and bent it back, and they kept showing it up close. So I don't know if they're going to finally get rid of that old belt that looks terrible and get a new one when Tanahashi beats him or something like that.
Does he throw it around because he doesn't like that belt, or he just doesn't respect it?
He just doesn't care. Yeah, he did it to the world title too, which is, I mean, it's fantastic. Genius.
It actually makes me kind of angry, but that's why I think it's so good.
All
right, so I guess let's go into Backlash.
I mean, we can discuss the Evolve and NXT shows quickly if you want, and then move into Backlash.
Okay.
Since those take place on Saturday.
Correct, and I do like chronological order.
Yeah.
All right, so Evolve 84 is 2:30 on Saturday, so they moved it actually so that they wouldn't be overlapping with NXT.
Yep.
You have, I'm going to go from the bottom. So you have Fred Yehi versus Jason Kincaid in a special attraction match.
Yeah, I mean, I'm done with Yehi, but I like seeing Kincaid.
The only thing that doesn't, for me, make sense is after the end. Well, we'll look at the card for the next day as well, but from the end of the last event, you would think that Yehi would somehow something with Stokely. I wonder if something's going to occur, because he's one. I mean, of course, Riddle left. Riddle also, ended up giving Stokely the road to sleep, and as his answer of whether he's staying or not. But at the same time, Yehi also walked out, so I think there should have been something there. But we'll look at the card for the next night.
Right, and I'm sure Stokely or Tracy Williams or whoever will come out after the match, and that's how they'll transition into the next one.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. So I mean, Kincaid's coming off that injury. He seems to be, at least better. You would think he's 100% going into this. I think Yehi has to win, though, especially after coming out of, leaving Catchpoint and everything. He's going to need to kind of build that momentum, and I think that means that he picks up the victory here.
Yeah, Kincaid is just kind of there, to do some cool things right now, and like you say, just coming back off the injury, so we'll see how he fares, and I'm pretty sure Yehi gets the win here, like you said, and we see that Catchpoint interaction afterwards.
Agreed. Then we have another special attraction match, Lio Rush versus Austin Theory. I mean, everything that I've seen from Austin Theory, I really like. I've really enjoyed Lio Rush's work. So, I mean, I think this is going to be, like, in terms of what these two can do in the ring, with their athleticism and their age, just kind of still being able to work in there, despite as young as they are. I think this is going to be a great match. But,
yeah, completely agree.
Rush has to win?
Yeah, right. Obviously, Rush gets the win. But, yeah, this will be good.
Yeah, he's challenging the next night for the title, so you wouldn't want him to lose to Austin Theory. Oh, no offense to Austin Theory, but it would kind of be a poor choice. Then you have a special challenge match, Tracy Williams with Stokely versus Jeff Cobb.
So, yeah, I mean, this should be all right. I obviously love what Jeff Cobb's been doing, and Tracy Williams now with Stokely and this little bit of an edge has been a little bit better, so this will be good.
Yeah, no, I really like Tracy with the attitude a little bit more, and I hope, he's from Brooklyn, and Stokely's from New York, so I think they should kind of play that up a little bit more.
They definitely could use that in a way.
He doesn't need to come out suddenly with a crazy Brooklyn accent. I don't mean that, but just I think a little something about that, making him, especially if he's in a cheat to win, him coming out and saying he's I'm from Brooklyn, I'm tough kind of thing a little bit would be. I think that would be a great promo to kind of get him even more heat and put a little bit more personality on that.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. I would my gut, off the bat, I would say Cobb, but at the same time, just for the same reason that I said that I think Fred Yehi needs to win, I think that Tracy Williams needs to win this match.
Yeah, it's a tough one to call, but I think Cobb gets a win and moves on to something more meaningful here.
All right, so just to be contrarian, I guess a little bit, I'm going to go with who I want to win, so I'm going to go with Tracy Williams.
Okay.
Then we have Keith Lee versus Donovan Dijak. They had a great match over the weekend, WrestleMania weekend, and I think that the second one's going to be just as good.
Yeah. There's no reason to think otherwise. Everything these guys do is ridiculous, so it's going to be fun to see them match up again.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird because, Dijak could definitely use the win, but at the same time, Keith Lee's been losing some of these matchups, so I think they need to have him win more.
Yeah, I agree.
So then you have the tag team championships are on the line when Dickinson and Jaka will be defending against Matt Nix and Isaiah Velasquez. So
yeah, these are I forget what
freelance,
what school, or there you go, from freelance.
Wrestling.
So I mean, they should be okay, and this will be a good showcase for them. But obviously, this is the showcase for Dickinson and Jaka as the tag champs.
Yeah, I heard that they're going to be doing this a little bit when they're partnered with another company. They're going to have tag team, one of the top tag teams from that company challenge for the titles.
Yeah, only makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, they don't really have a deep tag division, so, this works. I mean, at the same time, and not that I think they should lose it here, right? But I just hope that this wouldn't happen, all the time. I hope they'd be challenging against guys who are more regular, so you can feel like some. It kind of makes me feel like the Marty Scurll thing, have these guys come in and challenge and leave. Like, that is not my cup of tea.
Yeah, I get you.
And then you have Zack Sabre Jr. defending the Evolve Championship against Ethan Page. So it's in Chicago. Page, it's kind of like a second. It was a really successful, or rather successful, area for him when he was working a lot of independents around there. I don't know. I mean, I think I'm not sure if it's just because I want him to win. I think at some point he's going to be winning the Evolve Championship. I'm just not 100% sure that it's this night.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I've been saying all along it's too soon for Sabre to lose that belt unless he's not going to be around or something like that. But I don't see it happening here, and I agree with you. Definitely down the line, but just not right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's just I don't think that we've seen all the matchups we could the possibilities that are there. Pardon, with Zack Sabre Jr., so I just think it's a little too soon. Although, I mean, the build, on the other side of it, that Page has gone through all the everything they've done with him. It almost feels like if you had somebody who was a champion a little longer, this could be the match.
Yeah, I agree with that too. They've done a great job building him up as a legitimate heel, and I've been a big fan of everything he's been doing, but it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah. So then we have WWE NXT chronologically.
With Riddle O'Reilly, right?
What, did I skip that? I didn't read that off
I
the
believe
page.
so. I think that'll be a great match. So obviously Riddle's not losing that belt, but it'll be good to see that match.
Oh yeah, you're right. I didn't scroll up enough. The pitfalls of reading things upside down when they put them out. I wish the match cards, for me, they always start with the top matches, but I kind of want it to go the other way. Yeah. No way Riddle drops the belt, but I think this is going to be a really fun one. Both guys they kind of work similar styles in many ways, so it'll be fun to see kind of how they pair up there.
Yeah, I mean, just quickly, we'll just run through the next night. Sabre Rush is going to be fantastic, and that'll be a great showcase for Rush to be in that spotlight there. Riddle and Cobb, we've seen them wrestle a bunch of times, and now it's for the WWN belt, so that'll be, that should be a great physical contest. Williams and O'Reilly, another good chance for Williams to stand out a little bit here. Page and Dijak will be really good.
Wow. No, I wonder, but I kind of think the first night sounds a little better, but I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm excited about the main event.
Right, I don't disagree, but they're going to be two good nights of wrestling, and they'll both be enjoyable.
No, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, 2:30 show. It's great.
Right.
So I like mid-weekend day wrestling. Well, of course they can go midweek during the school year. Not during the school year, during summer would be a lot more enjoyable. But I don't think it's going to happen. All right, so then we have NXT Takeover. You're going to have Tyler Bate versus Pete Dunne for the WWE UK Championship. I don't see Bate losing it here. I mean, I think this is going to be a really great match, and you're going to see Dunne maybe do something dastardly afterwards. But, Tyler Bate won the title, and then this is his first defense. They don't have that show proper yet. I just don't see why he would take the belt off of him when not everybody knows about him, and if he's on the pay-per-view, he's going to get more eyes on him.
Yeah. However, I think Dunn is the guy that you build that TV show and this having him be on NXT and all of that, build that around. And actually think this is where Dunn gets the win.
Yeah?
He's been the featured guy ever since this tournament. You know, he's had the stuff with Regal and all that. So I think he's going to get the win here. He fought him in the finals and lost, right? So I think this is where he actually gets that win.
All right. Well, agree to disagree. I'm looking forward to it no matter what.
Let's just remember the recent history of PJ Perkins.
True. All right. Then you have the NXT Women's Championship. It's going to be a four-way. Wait.
Three-way.
Three-way.
Ember Moon is hurt.
Yeah. So, I mean, I still don't see Asuka dropping the belt.
No, unless she just doesn't get pinned, which could happen. But I think they were kind of hyping this up for Ember Moon, and then she got hurt, and so now we'll see where they go.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'd like to see somebody else with the title. I don't know. I don't know what their plan for her is.
Yeah, I think she could be used on the main roster. So at some point, we got to get to that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I would go with Nikki Cross, just so that she could have some issues with Ruby Riott, like right off the bat. And it's always more fun to watch the babyface chase. So
yeah.
All right, then you have the NXT Tag Team Championship ladder match, DIY versus the Authors of Pain. I mean, did you hear the news about? There was something on Pro Wrestling Sheet that somebody was making a song for WWE for an NXT superstar, spoke about it, and they didn't mention. So basically, she's making a new theme song for Gargano, or was working on it, and didn't mention that it's for Ciampa.
Right, and I mean, you don't necessarily know if she just said it was for Gargano. If who knows if she's adding lyrics to their song that they already have, or whatever the case. So it could go either way. Either they could get the win and regain those titles in the ladder match, or they could put up one hell of a fight and split, or go to the main roster. Who knows?
Yeah, I'm looking. I think for this one, I've been talking about how I kind of can't wait for the moment that Ciampa turns on him and says, DIY, I'm going to do it myself. Something like that. I've been waiting for that. So, I don't know. I don't know if it happens. I don't know if the turn's going to be that quick. Is it just going to be this loss completely sets him off? Because I would feel it would make a little bit more sense if this loss starts them down that road.
Right, and it could play out over the next set of tapings or whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm. So that would be kind of the more interesting way. But I think, unfortunately, as much as I want DIY to win and walk away with the titles finally, I don't think they're going to win.
No, I have to agree with you there.
All right, and then the last match is the NXT Championship match: Hideo Itami versus Bobby Roode. I think it's too early for this. I think you'd want a moment like this maybe at, I don't know when the next Takeover is, but I would assume it would be SummerSlam.
Probably, yeah.
So I just don't see one. I think the title change would be better off in Brooklyn.
Yeah, if that's going to happen. I don't think Itami needs it right now. You got to make sure he can stay healthy. So this is Bobby Roode's belt, and this is his company right now, and that's a great thing. We also we left off Roderick Strong and Eric Young. They added that, so that'll be a good fun match.
Oh, nice.
Interesting matchup to see there, and it's nice to see Roddy getting some spotlight on NXT and being on the Takeover.
Yeah, he's one of the guys that I thought was going to. I don't know. I guess be pushed a little quicker. So I'm happy to see that they're finally using him. Because, I mean, for me, like, watching him leave Ring of Honor, and he was, a television champion, and he was just at the top of the card, basically, and then he goes to NXT, and it wasn't moving as quickly as I thought it would.
Right, but think about what we also always say and how crowded NXT is. So it was nice that they were going to push him with Aries with the tag tournament, but then Aries got hurt. But, so then they took a step back. They let the path clear a little bit, and now here he is.
All right. I agree. All right, so now we have Backlash.
Woohoo!
Not a lot of. I kind of like that there aren't that many matches. That's the one thing I like about. I think SmackDown does that more often than not. All right, so on the kickoff, you're gonna have. Blanking out right now because they didn't list it on the page. Oh, here it goes. Aiden English versus Ty Dillinger.
Yeah, that's a fun match. It'd be nice for Dillinger to get that win there and be on the show. And Aiden English is getting his run as his singing singles competitor, so it's working out.
I hope that Aiden English wins by some kind of underhanded way, and then they it's
not on the pre-show. It's not going to set up anything important.
Well, I mean, is the feud between Ty Dillinger and Aiden English?
Well, it's something.
It's something, but I don't know. All right. Well, I'm gonna go with Aiden English.
All right.
Maybe he wins by count out, and then he can just obnoxiously do the 10 back to Dillinger. Then Sami Zayn is going to destroy Baron Corbin, and I would say what is probably going to be a 2-minute match. Just a complete squash.
The what?
Complete squash match. Sami Zayn just goes over in 2 minutes.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Did they announce that match?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I didn't see it at first, and I was hoping that
you agree with
was going to be on there.
Do you agree with my prediction?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Statwife does not agree with me either. I did not even know she was listening to what we were talking about. Alright. Yeah, unfortunately, it's probably going to be Corbin.
Yeah, clearly. Corbin is in line to get a push, and so we'll see what happens.
I'm not looking forward to that. Alright, then I really don't want to see this. Rowan versus Harper. I don't care. I don't care who wins.
I would like to see Harper get the win, but I don't know. I haven't hated what's been going on with them. They have a history, so I guess it's fun to see them come back together. So it's interesting.
Look, it's the same thing to me as Goldust versus R-Truth right now.
That I really don't care about. Harper, it'll never happen, but I think he could have potential to do good things there. And we started to see that with the IC title run, and then whatever happened. But, I'm interested to see where he goes with his singles push, and he's a babyface.
This would have been so much more interesting if it was a beard versus beard match. I would have been... I'm just staring at the picture for the match, and I'm not going, 100%.
Maybe it'll happen at SummerSlam or something like that. Give it a chance.
I would be so into a beard versus beard match. In 2017, that's just amazing. Alright, then we have Naomi, Charlotte, and Becky against the Welcoming Committee.
What a name.
The Welcoming Committee is, of course, everybody knows, Natty, Carmella, and Tamina.
And the big hog, James Ellsworth. Don't forget about him.
I don't know. I pass. Okay.
You pass?
What? Do you just have the faces go over here? Do you have the heels go over and create dissension with the faces?
I'm not sure, but this will be some point in time where I do anything else other than watch this match.
Yeah, that's not because it's a women's match. It's because I, first of all, don't like six...
No, it's because it's a six-man tag.
Six-man tag
it has
matches
nothing to do with the women.
I'm not watching New Japan. I don't need to see some sort of multi-man tag team match.
No, between that and PWG, Ring of Honor, I see enough 6-man tags. I don't need to see Natty, Tamina, and Carmella on a team. Obviously, the good girls get the win, and maybe then the welcome committee is just like, oh, screw you, this doesn't work anyway, and they split up, and we go from there.
Yeah, I don't. It's one of those things where you can just, if you cut some of the content, the nonsense content, the please buy this show kind of type stuff on the pre-show, like just put another match in there. Don't make it a 6-person tag. I don't know. All right, then we have Shinsuke Nakamura versus Dolph Ziggler.
And this I'm really looking forward to, and I think this will be really, really good. It's Shinsuke's debut, everything basically, in the ring. So it's going to be fun to see that entrance, and great to see him actually wrestling, and then see where they go from there afterwards with storyline and all that stuff.
I'm 100% excited to see Ziggler beat Shinsuke. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
I think this
I think I would bet you like my life, just anything you wanted.
Your life. Huh. I kind of want to make it a life debt, and then you'd have to be like my Chewbacca.
Okay. And then when I win, I get the Millennium Falcon.
That car is not for sale.
I wasn't even thinking about the car. I wasn't sure what I was referencing.
I was like, that's a 1987 Lincoln Town car, my friend. Those do not come cheap.
There you go. Personal chauffeur. You just gotta drive me around like I'm Chewbacca.
This is terrible. Let's go into the next match. Then you have I really hope Breezango. So Breezango's taking on the Usos. I really hope they win the tag titles.
I don't think that's gonna happen, but I'm enjoying everything that they've been putting out lately.
It's so good. I'm really enjoying them. It's great to see. It's funny. It's entertaining. It's
strange that overnight they're just baby faces.
No, yeah. I mean, because they were so borderline ridiculous that you just have to be less mean, right?
Mm-hmm.
And not even, right? Because they're like still fashion police stuff. So it's, I think this is going to be a really good match.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be entertaining, and it'll be interesting to see how Breezango holds up and what their outcome is. I think the Usos get the win, but you never know.
I'm going to say Breezango because I think it would just be fun.
Yeah, okay.
And no one cares about
we don't necessarily keep track of the stats here, so it doesn't hurt to go out on a limb.
With the summer coming up, any of you fans out there listening who might be off for the summer, we're offering an unpaid internship position where you can go back and listen to all our episodes and tally up our predictions so that I can officially announce that I have more right calls.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Just make sure you guys email us at runningwildpodcast@gmail.com, and then we'll, after we go process the applications, we'll hit you up.
Could take a while. There'll be so many.
Oh, I mean, it's going to be the mountains that we're going to sift through. It's going to be difficult.
Yeah.
All right. So then we have AJ Styles challenging for Owens, the Face of America United States Championship.
Thank you. He's challenging the Face of America for his United States of America Championship. He's going to lose, I guess, but man, that's going to be oof.
Yeah, I mean, Owens can't drop the belt to AJ now.
Yeah, like I don't see that happening. So, by hook or by crook, some way, Kevin Owens will get this win. But man, this is going to be a fun match. This is going to be a fun rivalry if and when it continues, and definitely looking forward to whatever comes for these guys.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be fantastic. It's gotta be Owens. It's gotta be Owens. I mean, I'd be angry if AJ won because it's too early, and I want to see this program flesh out a little bit more.
Right. I mean, if Owens had beaten Jericho the first time and not just lost and regained the belt, then maybe something happens. But he just lost it and got it back. So I don't want to see him do that again.
100% agreed. And then I'm about to say something that I thought I would never say. I want Jinder Mahal to win the WWE Championship.
Right, and I'm in agreement with you, which is shocking, but it's not going to happen. Orton's going to hang on to it. I think, if anyone, Corbin will be that guy. But, hey, it doesn't hurt to put Jinder in this spotlight. It doesn't hurt to have him, having these matches with Orton and getting whatever people, fans he can get in India and wherever the case. I'm enjoying everything they're doing with it. So, hey, kudos to them. You took someone that people didn't really necessarily care about and made him into something that now I do care about.
Yeah, no, I really care, and I'd like... See, I actually think that there's a chance that this could happen. Because then you could have a face win it at SummerSlam.
There is a chance, but, also remember this is the secondary title, so you don't need that big, huge moment at SummerSlam.
True. But I could see, like, for this summer, letting Jinder run with it.
Right, but do you want to see Jinder and Shinsuke at SummerSlam? Like, no,
Well...
No.
Alright. I mean...
Yeah, I don't know who that next challenger is going to be on SmackDown either, so that's going to be interesting.
I really hope he wins. That'd be so amazing. I'll jump up and down.
Jinder wins, and then Sammy beats Jinder for it at SummerSlam. Yeah, right. Don't even think about it.
That would be amazing. All right, so just we're going to transition to our interview. So just want to go ahead and thank Mark Starlin for coming on the show. He is the current Create-A-Pro champion. He'll be wrestling on June 3rd at Unsettled Differences in St. James, New York. And I hope you guys enjoyed the interview, and we'll be back right away. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are joined now by Smart Mark Sterling. Mark, thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me on the show.
I think we would be remiss if we didn't introduce him as the Create-A-Pro champion. Smart
True.
Mark Sterling, right?
True. Yep, Create-A-Pro champion, Smart Mark Sterling. You're right.
Well, so how did you are currently the champion, and it's your first singles title. What, now that you're at the zenith in some ways of your career, starting out, what made you want to get into professional wrestling in the first place?
So I actually I've had two careers, and this is the second career so far. So, and this is what I would say is the real one, because I started. So I'm 34 years old. I have gray hair, as you can see. I started training in 1999 when I was 18 in high school, right? And I'm from Massachusetts. I started training with a guy named Kevin Landry, and wrestled for until first of all, let's back up. Backyard wrestler, big time, right? Huge wrestling fan, my entire life. Really got into it in '97 when I saw Stone Cold really, taking off. I thought he was awesome.
Nice.
So, really, I made a lot of friends, that liked wrestling, and we started doing this backyard wrestling stuff. And it wasn't like a joke to me. It was a joke to them. It wasn't a joke to me. I was very serious about it. I made my own gear. I spray painted my stuff. I made a ring. I would record it. We would do backstage segments. I produced the whole thing. My real job right now is I'm a video producer, and that all comes from that. I really enjoyed directing the shows that we would make. We would shoot them directly on VHS tape. I would try to sell them in high school.
Nice.
So so I was huge into that, and one of my friends, Sarat Tan, also known as Makazi, if you guys watch Up Up Down Down.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Makazi was my really good friend going back into high school, and we used to backyard together. And he said, "Hey, I found a wrestling school." And I said, "What is a wrestling school?" At the time, I had no idea what that even meant. I didn't know there was wrestling schools. I thought you just did it. I thought you just I don't know. I thought you did high school wrestling and then you did real wrestling. I don't know. So he was like, he didn't have a car at the time. So he said, "Can you give me a ride?" And I was like, "Okay." So I gave him a ride. I had no intentions of wrestling. This is long-winded, but this is a long
great.
story.
No, this is what we want to hear.
So we get there. It's this little. It's a little room in a giant industrial park sort of warehouse room, and he starts doing practice, and the guy thought I was there too. So I was like, okay. So the first day, what they used to do in this school, like I said earlier, his name is Kevin Landry. His claim to fame is that did a couple dark matches for the WWE. He was huge, and he did those original. If you know your history, when the WWE first started their developmental, they did these Funkin' Dojos.
Yeah.
Yep.
So back then, like the original Funkin' Dojo had like Edge, Christian, maybe Kurt Angle was there, like all those guys. So he was in the first two Funkin' Dojos.
Oh wow.
So that was his claim of fame. He never made it, never did anything really in wrestling. He was like a local dude. Anyway, so we're here. His deal is your first day of practice, you take 100 bumps.
Wow.
I didn't know what a bump was, whatever. So we take 100 bumps. I think this is the greatest thing in the world. Sort of never look back.
Nice.
And I wrestled from, I think, my first match in 2001. I wrestled till like 2002, stopped for school, came back in 2005, wrestled till 2007. Then I had a 7-year break. I thought I was done. And then I started going to Create-A-Pro 2 years ago.
So what really, you took time off for multiple reasons, your education and everything, right? And what made you really jump back into it? What made you get back into it? You said you thought you were done. So what kind of changed that?
Well, I think that I was in the first part of my career, if you could call it a career. What was wrong with wrestling, right? I went to this training. I got this training. It wasn't that thorough. He would teach you moves, but I didn't know psychology at all. So I could do the moves. I could take a hip toss and an arm drag and do the headlocks and stuff like that. And I had gear, and that was it. But other than that, like, I sort of had no business being on shows. Maybe I was good enough to be on a pre-show. So I would get on shows, here and there, have, fine 4, 5, 6 minute matches. And that was sort of all I wanted. And I wasn't really in shape, and I didn't really try. And really, when I look back at it, I was stealing a spot of somebody way more deserving. And, out of shape, my gear wasn't great. I wasn't trying. I literally, every match, I would just try to get out of there without messing up. It would be the most simple stuff. And that was my deal. I just sort of liked hanging out with the boys and, having an entrance and, like, doing that kind of stuff. So I was really what was wrong in wrestling. And in 2007, when I took that time off, my dad had passed away, and a couple of the promotions that booked me, I said, I'll take a couple months off. I gained some weight. A couple months turned into 5 months. I got accepted to grad school, moved to New York, started doing grad school. So I talk about the degrees. I don't have 6 like I say, but I have 2. So
nice.
Yeah, I mean, I moved to New York, and I told those people I need to take a couple months off. That was my thing. I'll take a couple months off, get my head right, get back into this. So I never thought like I would quit. Next thing you know, we're 7 years later, and I'd always said, I apologize, I'm rambling, but this is a long story.
No, yeah.
I had always said that in my mind, I'll wrestle again. When I get back into wrestling, I'll do this, or my character will be this, or my gear will be this. I had always had that in my mind, but 7 years is a long time. And in that 7 years, when I was in grad school and living in New York, I feel like I really learned the value of hard work. I told you I was never in shape before. In that time off, I learned how to get in shape. I learned the importance of eating right. I learned how if you put your mind to something, you could be successful at it. And you shouldn't shy away from challenges. You should go for the challenges, right? And this is stuff that I had no idea about when I was a young kid trying to, get in and get out. So I felt 2 years ago that I was at 32 years old in the best place, head-wise, body-wise, shape-wise, ever to do this. And if I was ever going to do it again, I needed to do it now because I was only getting older. And I wanted to. I always said, like, man, I was okay before, but now I'm in shape, and I get it. So maybe I could be even better. And
right, now the sky is the limit for you.
Yeah, possibly, yeah. And I also knew that I wasn't going to be some big shot and come in and say, like, man, I've been wrestling 6 years. I wanted to start from scratch. So when I went into Create-A-Pro, I said, hey, I had a little training. I wanted to start from scratch, and I wanted to see where I was, and work hard, and I did that, and here we are.
So, how much of your your character, Smart Mark, is just you dialed up a bit?
Well, I'd like to say that I am a nice guy in real life.
Okay. Yeah, of course.
And I don't know if Smart Mark is very nice, but I mean, I can go on some rants, and my character has been known to go on rants, and I don't know. Every time, those bad thoughts you have that you would never say out loud.
Yeah.
I save those for Smart Mark, if that makes any sense. Or I try to take every annoying person I see or bad person I see and steal those traits and situations for my promos and things in matches and body language and things like that. But also, I feel like it's really important. So again, I'm 34 years old. I have gray hair. I told you I'm in the best shape of my life, but it is not anywhere compared to, I don't know, Pat Buck, my trainer, or something like that. So I have to be realistic. So when I'm thinking about what my character is going to be, I got to think about what I look like. And I look kind of nerdy, and I look kind of old and studious. So I needed to use that. So, a lot of it is looks as well.
During your promos, you had you mentioned the alternative facts to the ending of the match where you won the title, which that was great. I had a question. You do something great, I think, during a lot of these videos. You look off to the side. I believe, one of them, you were like, "Isn't Flex Rumble Crunch a cereal?" And you look off. Who are you talking to when you're looking off?
That's nobody. I mean, I set up my camera. Like I said, I'm a video producer now in my Clark Kent job. So I have this professional equipment, and I set myself up with, I'll take a shower, I'll shave, I'll doll myself up in my Smart Mark gear that I get at thrift stores. I just find the ugliest stuff that like I would never wear. Set up the camera. I got a full light kit, 3-point light kit. Set up the audio and just kind of record it. I write my promos fully, thinking about that kind of stuff, thinking about the edits. So it's a one-man production. Occasionally, my wife will sort of sit in while I focus the camera, but
it definitely comes across that way. The promos and the videos are all high quality and definitely entertaining stuff. So if anyone hasn't checked those out, they definitely need to go.
Yeah. I think that I don't work all over the place. I would like to get out more, but I would like to think that my success in Create-A-Pro and the reason I'm booked in other places is literally strictly on the promos. Because, again, I'm ranting. Because why is a promotion 3 hours away going to book me, a 34-year-old gray-haired man who's not very athletic? I need to provide some value to them. Am I going to sell tickets? Is somebody going to look at my picture on the poster and say, like, damn, I have to go see that show? Probably not. So the value that I can provide promotions is that I can produce a high-quality promo for them, and I will, for all my matches. Give that to them. They can put it on their social media. They can look professional. And people who are looking at that on Facebook can think, oh, who's this guy? Or, this looks legit or something. I don't know. It doesn't work all the time, but the promotions that I do get booked on, that's 90% of the reason.
It's definitely a key asset to have where, exactly like you said, where someone may look at a picture and not be enticed, but then they watch the promo, then they see how you're talking and the things you're saying, and then they're entertained. And then, yes, the quality and everything also helps, but, what you're saying in the video is even more key, and you got that down. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, I pride myself with the writing of it as well. I don't want to say the same old indie cliches. If you'll never hear me say, you see, you'll never hear me say, like, when the dust clears without a shadow. I'm not going to say that kind of stuff because everybody else says that kind of stuff. And also everything I say out of my mouth, I want to be, other than like June 3rd, Create-A-Pro Wrestling presents Unsettled Differences. Other than that, the stuff that I have to say, every sentence should be some sort of entertaining something. It should be a joke. It should be a crack. It should be a whatever. I mean, you see these guys do 2-minute videos, not naming any names, about, I'm going to beat you up and you're going to feel pain. And then when it's done, you'll know why I'm the toughest person. Like, a million guys say that. And they're probably saying it better than you. So what's the point? And what's that doing for anybody? So the goal is, and I spend a lot of time on these, the goal is to be as entertaining as possible if they like me or they don't like me. So,
do you work with other guys from Create-A-Pro on their promos as well?
I don't like to sort of butt in where nobody's asking me for advice, but if they asked me what my thoughts were, I would give it to them. I help them produce things. I do a lot of the video stuff for Create-A-Pro. Shoot and edit the promos, put the stuff on Facebook and all that stuff. I do that, but I mostly give these people. I mostly let them do what sort of they want to do with their characters. I don't feel like I know my character, but I don't feel like I'm anybody that can sort of be critiquing these kids, or guys.
So you guys, June 3rd, as you mentioned, you guys have Unsettled Differences.
Yeah.
You want to tell us a little bit about your match going to the show?
Yeah, well, this is a huge show for Create-A-Pro because We've probably had maybe 12 or something shows in the garage, as we call it. That's where Create-A-Pro Wrestling is. It's in a little sort of industrial park. It's in like a garage, and it max fits 130. I think that's how many seats we have. So, and we sell out. Other than like a couple of shows that were on weird days, we had one that ran like 2 days after Christmas, which was not highly attended. But, we sort of sell out of those shows. So it was time, I think, to move out of there. And we were toying with the idea, my trainer, Pat Buck, is really good friends with Ryback. And I think that they were toying with the idea of like bringing a guy like him in or something like that, and like what would be the point really, because we sell out Create-A-Pro with me versus Max Caster. Ryback wouldn't add any value, but Ryback would add value if we move somewhere else. So this is the first show that we're moving somewhere else. We're in St. James, New York at the Sports Arena, and hopefully we have more than 130. Hopefully it makes sense that we moved out, and this is a huge show for us. And a lot of people think that we're just a student show. We started out as a way to get students on a show, but I would not call us a student show. And personally, I think that Create-A-Pro is one of the best kept secrets in indie wrestling right now. Because I know you asked me to talk about my match, but when we're looking at the rest of the card, like, are you guys familiar with Johnny Silver?
Yep, he was just tier 1. I was actually there. He took on Stockade.
Yes, so Johnny Silver, in my opinion, is primed to be a top indie darling. This guy is everywhere. He is probably, I would say, the top guy and beyond. He is at tier 1. He's, wrestling at Limitless Wrestling in Maine. He's all over the place, and he's all over New York shows. He's going to be on a WrestlePro show coming up, and he's just on every Create-A-Pro show, as well as his partner Alex Reynolds, who, in my opinion, is one of the best wrestlers in the world, and I'm not exaggerating. This guy is amazing. And then, you guys know Massage Envy?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. BSK and Dorian Graves.
These guys are about to blow up as well. Amazing. They're amazing wrestlers with a hilarious, awesome gimmick.
The slide off the back is always always
amazing.
Gets me every time.
Yeah, it's amazing. And we do have students and stuff on the show. All of us were students, but we're talking about students named Maxwell Jacob Feinstein, who is everywhere, who is just in PWI this month. So I don't think there's a couple students, but what show doesn't have a couple students? But I think we're legit.
Right. I think that's one of the great things about Create-A-Pro is that it combines the best of both worlds. You got the guys who are on their way up, and you have the students who are training to try and get there. And with the trainers and the guys you have around the school, it makes a lot of sense why things are done the way they are and why they're so good.
Have you guys made it out to the garage at all, or no?
No, not yet. We're definitely looking forward to that, and looking forward to coming to the show on June 3rd, though.
Oh, you're going to make it out?
We're going to try our best. Yeah, absolutely.
Where are you guys?
We're in Queens and Long Island now.
Okay,
Westchester, man.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that's a hike. This one's a bit out east. It's kind of a hike for us too, which that's why this is also challenging because we had some fans that were coming from the local Hicksville area that it's going to be a hike for them to make it out there. So this is sort of like a risk and an experiment, and that's why I really wanted to get out there with the promotion of the show. But we also have Danny Doring and Little Guido on the show, so we bring in these names from time to time, and we also have Pete freaking Gas.
Yeah,
of the
that's
Street
amazing.
Posse. Where do you see Pete Gas anywhere?
We had the pleasure of having him on the show just recently as his book came out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that's really exciting. It's really cool that he's going to be there in person. The book has been great. It's really funny, and it was just great to have him here in person. He's just a really cool guy. And it was Pete Gas, man. It was Mean Street Posse. We were pretty excited.
Right. So he's there. He's there to promote the book, as far as I know. But I will say, Pete Gas and the Mean Street Posse dressed a lot like Smart Mark Sterling and the Faculty. So we'll have to talk to him while we're there.
That would be.
It only makes sense, right? It's a perfect fit.
Yeah, exactly.
That would be amazing.
Yeah. So our match. I'm very excited about this. Against a three-way, me versus Johnny Clash versus the tweener Max Caster, and kayfabe, whatever. These guys are really good friends of mine. We train together. We have been training together. I could have a match with Caster on the fly anywhere at any time because of all the work that we've done together. I have been in the middle of a blood feud for more than a year with Johnny Clash now, which has been really great and really fun. So these matches are like sort of the culmination of all that, and I think that as we wind down on this feud and things like that, I think that people are in for some good stuff.
Yeah, it was interesting when you won the title, just how his interference actually led to your victory.
Right.
So I think the dynamic's great. I'm a little upset that you're not going to be able to face off against Grammar Cop. That you really were you were trying to call him out, but
right, exactly, yeah. Well, I think you did.
Well, no, that's it's shaping up. It looks like a really great card, and it's exciting that you guys are going to be moving to the larger place. I mean, it's kind of all things looking up, and wish you guys the best luck. I think it's going to be a great show, and anybody listening should really make the trip out there. I think it's certainly going to be worth it. I know it's a little further out, but I think when you have a number of quality wrestlers like this on the card, it's definitely something that you make a road trip, you make it fun, and you head out there.
Yeah, I think that it's going to be really good. So June 3rd, Create-A-Pro Wrestling presents Unsettled Differences at the Sports Arena in St. James, New York. You can get tickets at createaprowrestling.com. I believe front row is $30, but general admission is $20. The doors open at 7. The show starts at 7:30. I think that it's definitely an all-ages show. Bring your kids, bring your wives, bring your girlfriends, whatever you want. Bring your friends. I think that it's going to be a good time.
Where can we catch you on social media?
So I am at Silver Intuition on Instagram and Twitter. You can search Smart Mark Sterling on Facebook. I'm pretty sure I'm the only one. I also have a website, silverintuition.net. I just started a podcast about 2 months ago. It's an interesting podcast. It's called I Left My Wallet in Greg Polanco. I teamed up with a good friend of mine, Antonio Thomas, formerly of the Promise, formerly of the Heartthrobs, and we are talking sports with a wrestling twist. So every week we have different guests on. Like last week we had Joey Ryan, and we're not talking about wrestling, we're talking about sports. So
cool.
If you are interested in sports and wrestling, maybe this is the podcast for you.
Definitely sounds interesting. I'm definitely going to check that out right after we finish this up.
Cool. Yeah, we're still working out the kinks on some audio stuff and the interviews and all that, but we're doing it. At least trying to do it.
Great.
We're right there with you, man.
Yeah.
All right, well, thanks for joining us tonight, Mark, and good luck in your match, and I hope you guys have a successful event.
I appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
Yeah, you too, man. Thanks for coming on.
All right, just want to thank Mark for coming up on the show. Looking forward to catching the event where he's going to be defending that title, and just thought it was a really interesting conversation with him. All right, so now before we let you guys go, we actually have some trivia this week. So I did not look at the email as per normal because I do not like to look ahead. I'd rather be surprised when we are on the show. So this one comes to us from Chris the Jesus, I believe that's how you say his name, from California. The question is, well, first of all, hey guys, how are you doing? As always, enjoying the podcast. Here's a question. What NXT star made his WWE debut against MVP in 2007? All right.
I know this answer. Current NXT stars.
Well, no, it says what NXT star made his W. Yeah, so I guess.
Right. Roddy wrestled Angle. Oh, man. It might have been. No, Gargano was something else. Or maybe it was Gargano?
Alright, so you're going to go with Gargano. I'm going to go with...
I'm thinking, but I'm pretty sure.
Okay, let's see.
Not Bobby Roode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Gargano.
Okay.
And I've heard this story, too, and it's really annoying me that I can't.
I'm going to go with Chris Hero.
Definitely not Hero. Watch now, it's Hero. Is there an answer there? No.
Well, no. Unfortunately, no. So I just realized that I stopped talking because I wanted to figure this out. So it can't be Hero. It's too early. Whew. So do I have to Google this? Who made? This is great radio.
I don't even. I don't think you're going to be able to find who MVP wrestled in some random match.
So you said it was Gargano.
I've heard this story, like, oh, you wrestled MVP, right? And I just can't remember who it was.
Wait a minute. Okay, you were right, I believe. Yes.
Would you search Johnny Gargano versus MVP?
Yeah, he appeared as the champion of Liechtenstein, Cedric Von Hausen.
Yep, Cedric Von Hausen. There it is. I knew he appeared in some random craziness. Sweet.
Wow, I am just amazed. I'm amazed. All right, ladies.
That's what watching random interviews get you.
Oh, by the way, the last thing I'll bring up before we go, Randy Orton had that whole thing on Twitter about dives and everything like that. He put up a picture with Gulak holding a sign that said "No Fly Zone."
Yeah.
And I just kind of thought that was amazing.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. And Ospreay also said yesterday or this morning on Super Juniors, he was like, yeah, I don't care if it's in New Japan or wherever, I'll even wrestle Randy Orton in the damn House of Horrors match. Cracked up about that one.
Oh my god. Terrible. Alright, well, with that out of the way, guys, I just want to make sure you guys follow us on Twitter over at Running Wild LWOS. You can find us on the web at runningwildpodcast.com. You can find us on Facebook as well on Running Wild Podcast. And you can send us trivia just like Chris did. We are doing pretty well, so we'd like to have some more. You can send it to runningwildpodcast@gmail.com. You can follow my work over at pwponderings.com, rohworld.com, and I've got a few pieces up on pastemagazine.com as well. I've got a piece on the Young Bucks and their YouTube show Being the Elite, and I'll have an interview with Cody coming out real soon, so make sure you guys go check that out. Alright, and with all that out of the way, just want to remind you guys that you're listening to the podcast that is just too
sweet. If only we